The following program is an exclusive presentation of Bright House Networks. The Bright House Networks High School Football Game of the Week pregame show. Sponsored by Premier Equipment Rentals.
Welcome to the pregame show sponsored by Premier Equipment Rentals. Tonight's contest between the Liberty Patriots and Garces Rams is for an SEYL championship. Had a chance to interview Coach Dave Finucchi, and this is what he had to say about his team's chances. Coach, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Great to be here.
6-3 record so far. You guys are playing for a share of the SEYL championship. Talk about the success you've had this year.
Well, we're pretty excited to be in this position, and really a lot of it is attributed to kids and all their hard work. And nobody really thought that we'd be here right now, that we'd play a meaningful football game in Week 10. But these guys believed that they could, and that was the most important, is that they believed, and so we're here.
Is this your first championship that you're playing for in the SEYL?
Actually, 2 years ago when we played Golden Valley at the end of the year with Bryson Hodges and that group, and they knocked us off here. That game was for the SEYL championship, and they ended up winning the championship. We were fortunate enough to go on that year and win the Valley championship, and so it's our second shot at it.
You get a chance to look at Liberty on film?
Oh, we've seen them, yeah, they're very good.
What are some of the challenges for you, and what are the keys of victory?
Well, for us, we're going to have to control the football offensively, and that's been difficult for a lot of teams to do. Their defense is just outstanding. But, it's like anything else. You've got to keep the ball away from them and not allow them to score. They're a very efficient offensive team. Typical Liberty, physical. They run the ball. They're going to come right at us and run the ball at us, and we have to be able to stop the run. And then just as you try and load up and you think you're taking care of that, they throw the ball very well also. So they're a very balanced team offensively and defensively. There's no secrets about how good they are on defense.
Who are some of those guys defensively that you look to get the job done for you?
Well, for us, we got to start with our guys up front. Andrew Putman and Nestor Cruz, who play along our defensive line, have been two guys who have been solid for us all year. George Mert as well up on the defensive line. And then you go to the second level of linebackers, and you start really with Andrew Finucchi, who's been a team leader for us and one of our team captains, and he's been a real solid player for us this year.
How about the defensive secondary? I noticed you got one guy with a lot of interceptions back there.
Well, we're a little bit young in that secondary, but those guys have really stepped up and done well. Sam Layton has been playing free safety for us. He's a junior. The guy who's got a couple interceptions, one return for a touchdown, is Jalen Sykes, just a sophomore. Also back there, Philip McCollum, and this week Matt Sumlin working in there as well. So those are all some young guys, and so it's exciting to see them play and to watch them grow and mature as they have this year.
Wing T offense, coach, you got a lot of guys that share the load for you. Talk about some of those guys.
Well, again, we're trying to spread it around as much as we can, trying to be as balanced as possible and not too predictable. But you know what, it starts in our running game, and again, you turn around to a guy like Jalen Sykes, who's had a very good year for us running the ball, DJ Jones, and then Riley Scott. Those really have been the three guys who've gotten the load of the carries for us. And Chase Wright at quarterback has been doing a good job, making some good choices, especially as of late, take care of the football.
If you had your choice, a shootout or a defensive struggle, what would you refer? Or what would you prefer?
Boy, it's hard to imagine it's going to be a shootout. They're such a good defensive football team. We're going to have to play really good defense, I think, to have an opportunity to win Friday night. And so I think it's going to have to come down to a defensive football game for us to be in.
So Coach Finucchi, in his 20th year here at Garces, not to count those years that he was a player here back in the 80s. Coach, good luck on Friday night, and
thank you.
Good luck the rest of the season.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Got a job to do? Premier Equipment Rentals is your answer. Residential or industrial, we've got exactly what you need to get the job done. Whether it's a drill, trencher, bobcat, backhoe, or excavator, you can always count on Premier Equipment Rentals. And with our new extended hours, we're available when you need us. Check us out at 3217 Patton Way and 5001 Stein Road, or give us a call to find out more. Don't forget to ask about our weekend specials. Make your next project a breeze with Premier Equipment Rental.
Coach Mills, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks a lot, Coach. I really appreciate it.
We talked about the parity in the SEYL and around Kern County this year, and now it's come down to two teams that are 6-3, 4-1 in league. You guys are playing for a share of the championship. Tell me your thoughts.
Well, we're just excited to kind of be here. Sure, we want to come out and play well and take care of business, but at the beginning of the year, we started off and, we're off to a 1-3. We play a difficult schedule, and I've kind of always talked about it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And our kids really believe, and we've had a lot of adversity. And, true character shows up when you have some adversity. And my guys have a lot of backbone, and we're excited to play in the ball game tonight because of it.
The one thing that most people are impressed about Liberty High School football is your defense. You guys have given up fewer points than just about any team in the county. What do you attribute that to?
Well, I attribute it to our defensive coordinator, Ricky Brogdon. He's doing an outstanding job putting a game plan together defensively week in and week out. Jay Iliadis is also a great football mind. He runs our secondary, so him and Rick Brogdon work hand in hand together, and they're just doing a great job of putting our game plan together, along with our defensive line coach, Wes Pollard, and Dale Tedder, our defensive ends coach. They just do an outstanding job of teaching. Our kids know that they need to play alignment assignment football, not freelance, and whenever we play alignment assignment football, we're pretty good defensively, and we're going to have to be real good tonight because, as far as running the wing tee, Garces High School, they've been running it for a while and they're really good at it. So we need to make sure we, stay true to our alignment assignment and not try to freelance, because if we can do that tonight, we're just going to try to slow them down. And if our defense can show up and play well tonight, we got a great chance to win.
You played the last couple games without your senior leader, two-way starter, Chris Neal. What's the word on him for this week?
Chris is probably going to be out tonight in the ball game. He had an injury against Stockdale where he hurt his shoulder, and every day not every other day. He goes to treatment one day and then he goes to therapy the next day. He's met with the doctors, and the doctors have told us that, it's probably no-go tonight in the ball game. We're going to meet with the doctor and see what he has to say. And even though it's a championship game, we're not going to take a chance on hurting Chris Neal's future. He has a great baseball future.
Coach, in your first year as head coach for Liberty High School football, you're playing for a championship. How does that make you feel?
Well, it makes me feel great for the kids. Coach Brome was also an outstanding head coach, and if he would have continued to want to be the head coach, then heck, I would have just stayed and done my baseball gig. But you know what? I try to surround myself with a great staff, and we have a very good staff that's finally kind of turned the corner on how to work some things out. Those first couple ball games, it was kind of Friday nights. It may not look like it was a little chaotic, but it kind of got a little chaotic, but we got that all ironed out, and I'm excited for our kids to have an opportunity to win the first league championship, even though it's a share since 2004, and that'd be great for our kids because they've worked so hard, just like a number of teams in the area. Everybody works hard, but these kids have really battled the whole year. They've had a lot of adversity and, a new coaching staff, and me being a baseball coach, here, there, everywhere. But the bottom line is, I want it more for the kids than I do myself because they've worked so hard.
Coach, good luck tonight, and congratulations on your success.
Once again, thanks for having us. Our kids really appreciate it, and in the home county, I'm sure they're just ecstatic all the time about when Bright House Network shows up, and you guys do an outstanding job. Thanks.
Got a job to do? Premier Equipment Rentals is your answer. Residential or industrial, we've got exactly what you need to get the job done. Whether it's a drill, trencher, bobcat, backhoe, or excavator, you can always count on Premier Equipment Rentals. And with our new extended hours, we're available when you need us. Check us out at 3217 Patton Way and 5001 Stein Road, or give us a call to find out more. Don't forget to ask about our weekend specials. Make your next project a breeze with Premier Equipment Rental.
Get rid of your old gas guzzler and buy used at the Barber Honda's Used Car Super Center. With over 200 cars, you'll get superstar treatment and state-of-the-art service at the new Barber Honda Service Center. It's the absolute best in Kern County. Find a pre-owned, fuel-efficient car that's just right for you. And Barber Honda has the largest selection of certified pre-owned Hondas. Don't wait until gas is over $6 a gallon. Start saving gas and money now at the Barber Honda Used Car Super Center, 4625 Wyville Road at the entrance to the Bakersfield Auto Mall.
ESPN College Game Day.
You ready? I'm ready. ready.
The #1 college football show.
Expect the unexpected.
I know you've done your homework on this. Absolutely.
Every Saturday.
It's always a fun place to be.
Look at these beautiful people. This is heaven.
Live from the nation's college football hotspots.
These are the best college football fans in the nation.
The guys, the predictions, and the headgear.
Go Buckeyes!
ESPN College Game Day, built by the Home Depot. Saturdays at 10 a.m. on ESPN and ESPN HD. And log on at collegegameday.com.
Jump into a life you love.
Jump into geology.
Jump into culinary arts.
Jump into a life you love.
Jump into a life you love. Jump into music.
With an amazing low cost per credit.
Jump into a life you love.
And financial aid.
Jump into acting.
Bakersfield College is more affordable than ever.
Jump into a life you love. Jump into college.
Your life's waiting, so jump.
Bright House Networks presents the Bright House Networks High School Football Game of the Week. Sponsored by Barber Honda, Bakersfield College, and Premier Equipment Rentals.
A very beautiful, fantabulous, fantastic November Friday night. Week 10, the last week of regular season high school football in Kern County. You're watching Bright House Network's High School Football Game of the Week. This is it. Next week it's playoffs, but a lot is going to be answered tonight, November 14, 2008. I'm Vance Palm, joined in the booth. We're in the booth. I feel big. I feel important. Kevin Keys joining me in the booth, and down on the field, Brian Adams. Before we hear from my main man, Kevin, let's go down to Brian Adams. Brian, Garces at Liberty. Everybody knows you never count Garces out, but this Liberty team is pretty solid. Your thoughts on tonight's football game?
Well, Vance, I think one thing we're talking about is these teams have a chance to share for first place in the SCYL. And secondly, Garces, you know, people didn't think they were going to be that good, and here they are with only 3 losses and have a chance to tie for first place.
Kevin, you hear from Brian that, you know, when you're looking at two teams like this, Liberty Garces, it never, ever is over until the last minute. But this is a different kind of a year, Garces Liberty. Over the years, it's been some pretty serious contests. Now, they're both tied for the league, and who knows what could happen tonight.
Well, this is an outstanding Garces squad. They're excited to be in this position. They didn't expect to be here at the beginning of the year. I talked to Coach Fanucchi earlier, and he says this is a team that really has overachieved. They started as a freshman unit. They didn't play very well together, but now they're playing for a share of the championship, like Brian said.
Normally, everybody, you know that we never, and I mean never with a capital N, come into the broadcast over the Star Spangled Banner, but there is a reason for that. Garces High School showed up. Their football team got off the bus about, and this is no exaggeration, they got off the bus about 4 minutes ago. They came in very late, hopped off the bus, and that's why we're having to go to the air over the national anthem, which is something we've never done. But, Kevin, they just got off the bus.
Well, that's something that there had to be a mishap unless Coach Fanucchi has got something up his sleeve. But I don't know. I don't see how this could be an advantage for them coming off of the bus, not warm. That's a long ride from Garces to Liberty, all the way across town. A wonderful job by the Liberty High School choir singing the national anthem. But, you know, unless they stopped and warmed up somewhere or got a chance to do something nearby, these guys cannot be warm.
Is there a body exchange around the corner here? So our apologies to the Liberty fans standing right in front of us. We were talking over the national anthem. That's a rarity. Our director, Bernie Johnson, and all of his crew here tonight for Week 10 regular season capper for the 08 high school football season here in Kern County. It is going to be a very, very interesting ball game. Garces crowd starting to fill in. So the early storyline is that kickoff supposed to be at 7:30. It is now 7:45, so a 15-minute late start with the Garces Rams getting off the bus at about 7:38. So,
well, you know, the officials were very sympathetic. They did not penalize them, didn't flag them. So, I guess they had a pretty good excuse coming off the bus. But the Patriots will kick off to the Rams.
And we're underway, week 10. A deep, long kick. It goes into the end zone and out. It'll be 1st and 10 from the Garces 20-yard line. Premier Equipment Rentals pregame show. You had a chance to talk to both coaches, Kevin. Your thoughts from their thoughts.
Well, Coach Mills has had to make some adjustments. He's missing a few players. They brought up a couple junior varsity linemen who are going to see extensive time tonight. They're without the service of their outstanding senior center, but expect those young guys to get a quick lesson tonight as Garces comes out in their overload wing tee. They give the ball to Sykes. Where's that Jones?
No, it's Jalen Sykes on the first carry.
Jalen Sykes, an outstanding sophomore who's had quite a year for the Rams so far. He's been their leading ball carrier.
So we're just underway at Liberty High School where the Patriots, last game of the regular season, and of course it's going to be Patriots seniors night tonight. Band members, cheerleaders, football players, always very festive. Garces has a nice crowd. This time the handoff goes to Carl Hall. Hall wrapped up after a gain of about 3 or 4 yards. Garces in the all-white jerseys, the Notre Dame gold helmets. And Liberty at home tonight, peeking around the corner for next week. They can't do that.
No, not at all. They've got to come ready for this team, this Rams team. They've played everybody tough all year, and they beat a pretty good West High football team that, you know, and you get into the psyche mind of a high school football player. Garces beat West and West beat Liberty, so in their minds they think they should win this game.
3rd and 4, loads up heavy on the left side. Oh, a big hit at the line of scrimmage, and that's not going to happen. Oh, boy. And that was, again, Hall got nothing, or was that was Jones.
Mason Herbston came up big from his linebacker position there to make the tackle. Got some help from Trent Eskew.
So in their first series, they'll punt the football away. We'll try to get to the bottom of the late arrival story. Perfect snap. Wow, look at this booming punt. And it's taken by Dylan Meadows. Meadows hit hard and a flag on the play. So the return by Dylan Meadows, already a flag. Top-notch officiating crew tonight. You know, where were you? You and I always hang out pregame and talk to the officials. Of all people, ended up myself, the head referee, and Gino LaCava, who will be a guest of mine later tonight. Where were you?
I was down talking to a few of the alumni. You were at the snack bar, weren't you?
Man, I had the greatest steak sandwich of all time, in the world probably. Liberty Boosters Club. You talk about some food. Forget about these fancy restaurants.
Block in the back there. Wow. It's called by Nick Ellis, our referee tonight, and he'll be joined by Bob Williams, Ken Lopez, Sean Carlson, John Bermejo, and Ernie Molina. Ernie's in the box tonight.
Later on this evening, don't let me forget, I have a special message to the grandchildren of Nick Ellis. Do not let me forget, Kevin. 1st and 10, Liberty. They go to the ground right away. Hey, look at this. Could have been a big run, but he gets wrapped up. That's Nick Shannon, Bloodline Football. Could have been a lot more, but a nice tackle out there. Here's our BC replay, Kevin.
Nick does a good job, bounces out, picks up a good block from Ornalis, but Sykes comes up strong from his cornerback position. Nice open field tackle by Jalen Sykes. Jalen's going to see a lot of duty tonight on both sides of the football, so we'll see how that takes shape later on in the 4th quarter.
Oh, boy. The pigskin's still on the grass, but there's players moving all over the place, and Nick's going to make that call. While I have it in my hands, I don't want to forget. You see that gentleman right there in the white hat, everybody? That is Nick Ellis, the referee, and he is an iconic figure in the officiating here in town. And he said, hey, fellas, can you give a, quote, shout-out from Grandpa to Marcus, Miley, Mason, Level, and Cameron and Jordan Davis. Tell them Grandpa promises to give this referee stuff up when they start playing on Friday nights. From Grandpa Nick.
Attaboy, Grandpa.
2nd and 12. Ooh, big hit behind the line of scrimmage, and that's going to be a loss. Again, Shannon there, so defensive front here for Garces stepping up.
Well, nice job that time by Tal Pruitt. Come from his linebacker position. Tal Pruitt got a little help from George Mert, the two outstanding linebackers. Mert, the senior. Tal, just a sophomore.
Mert, bloodline.
Bloodline football. Waldo, Diggy.
So 3rd and 14 for Liberty. Are you kidding me? Garces looks like it's bringing the kitchen sink, and they do. Bad snap. Oh, goodness. Slayton has a man downfield, overthrows. That was bad from the beginning and stayed that way, so it will be a punt situation for Liberty. So,
well, they've got a new center in tonight, as we mentioned, that they're without the service of their senior leader, Rifle, who's out with an injury, and they've got some. They're moving linemen around. They moved the tackle over to the center position.
Perfect snap on that. Almost blocked by Garces. A wobbly punt that will probably bounce. Well, it bounces backwards. And a nice play down there by number 40, Cameron Carroll, to stop it from going further backwards. So 1st and 10 for Garces. You're watching Bright House Network's high school football game of the week. We are inside the booth. Kevin, I want to thank you for bringing us inside. I feel like Keith Jackson. I feel like Howard Cosell. We're inside a booth.
Well, if we turn that light out, we could see probably a little bit better there.
Turn out the light. Hey, but how am I going to follow my notes, my man?
Get rid of the notes and just pay attention.
Well, you guys didn't tell me we had Danny Don Meredith with us.
Hey. 1st and 10, Garces broken play. That's going to get bad. Brian, Kevin has arranged for us to be inside the booth tonight. Now he's turned the lights out. It's somewhat romantic, but I can't see the my roster here. There's Brian down on about the 13, 14-yard line. Brian, good to see you tonight.
Always a pleasure to be with you guys. Hey, one thing we got to talk about is, Liberty is really the heavy favorite tonight by most people's standards. And one thing that they're doing so far in this first series is they're giving that Garces team confidence. And this is a team, if they get confidence, they can play well. Liberty wants to make this game a route early, but if they keep giving them a chance and let them make some big plays, they'll have a fight on their hands.
2nd and 10. Chase Wright, the quarterback from the shotgun, has a little bit of time, scrambling, looking for some room, but he's just in trouble from the get-go. Not a lot of time. He gets corralled in there by Cody Temple.
Well, you notice at the line of scrimmage, Cody Temple's getting double teamed here. You see two guys on him. Cody does a good job to fight it off and bring Chase down at the line of scrimmage. Had some help from Trent Eskew. But Cody Temple, a former Barber Honda player of the game, outstanding sophomore. He's a guy that they're going to have to deal with all night.
3rd and 11, Garces, midfield, about the 46-yard line. Shotgun right, has a little bit more time, rolls to his right, lets this one go, and it's underthrown. So that'll bring up another 4th down scenario.
Matt Sumlin was the intended receiver. Pretty good two-sport athlete, outstanding basketball player. 6'3", 185-pound junior. Talented young man on the hardwood floor.
On that note, his varsity basketball coach, Gino LaCava, will be my guest sometime tonight. Gino's going to come up and give us a few minutes, talk about Garces basketball, and looking forward to that. Another nice punt. This one hangs in the air, but he's got some room. Look out. Oh, nice job of covering some ground out there by Andrew Putman. Can you believe it? Andrew Putman.
Andrew Putman's a guy that's got a nose for the football. He's their leading sack man. You'll see him on the field all night. Pretty fast for a defensive lineman. 6'3", 212 pounds.
Good buddy of mine, Kenyon Sill, said, I know you're going to be calling that Putman name quite a bit. Speak of the man himself, Gino LaCava, up in the booth. Six and a half left here in the first quarter. Liberty on a 1st and 10 after Putman had great coverage on the punt. Looks like Coach Fanucchi's going to bring him again. They give it to Shannon. Shannon met hard at the line of scrimmage, only gets about a yard. Well, Kern County, because he's a busy man tonight, he's going to be over on the Garces sidelines, kind of pondering winter sports. We're going to grab him right now while we have him. Gino LaCava, men's basketball coach for Garces High School, head coach, been there quite a while and incredibly successful tenure there already. Hi, Coach.
How you doing, buddy?
Nice to see you. Well, Brian Adams down on the field, who you saw before the game started, said the one thing Liberty does not want to do is let a team like Garces start to feel a little confident. And as we see on a 2nd and 9, Garces hanging in there on the defensive side, not able to really get things going yet on offense. Slayton throws across the middle, has a man wide open. And it's going to be a first down. Coach, we look at this Garces football team this year. Started off not too successful, but now they're in a tie for first place. Your thoughts on the football team?
I'll tell you what. First of all, you don't want to let any high school team underdog get some confidence under them. That, and at this level, those kids get confident. Anything can happen. Coach David Fanucchi's done a great job bringing this group together. Very young group. I think it's going to be a team to be reckoned with in the Valley next year. Very, very solid group of young guys out there, and our seniors doing a great job of leading this team here towards the playoffs.
Well, there's a junior on the far end of the field over there, number 84, and his jerseys and his pants are all white, and I'm sure you want it to stay very white tonight.
Let's talk about Matt. Kid healthy, yeah.
Let's talk about Matt Sumlin.
Matt Sumlin's very, very fast. Nice basketball player for him. He gets up and down the floor really good, and he's a heck of an athlete. He plays a little receiver out here, and I hate seeing him play defense.
Well, he needs to get in on that tackle because that's a long, long run by Chris Neal. And a big first down for Liberty. Coach, while I have you up here, it goes without saying that it's no secret Garces has a very, very good basketball team this year. You've compiled quite a roster and some great talent, but just as importantly, good kids. Let's talk about your squad here.
Our squad's good. This is the fastest squad. And Vance, we've put some darn good ones out in the last 16 years, but by far the fastest, most talented squad we've ever had. We do lack a little bit of height, but I think we make up for it in skill and athletic ability, that's for sure.
Your big name, marquee name, has signed with the university, Cal State University Bakersfield, on a big get with a young man by the name of Stephon Carter.
Heck of a player. Hardest working kid we got out there in practice, and extremely skilled individual, can score on the best of them, and he's a tremendous leader on top of that. He shows the kids how to work hard. He can take a lot of punishment. Obviously what he does during the game is gets fouled a lot and just takes it with a grain of salt and keeps on pounding.
2nd and 8, Liberty on the 34-yard line of Garces, starting to make a move here. In motion is Meadows. Handoff goes to Neal. Neal looking to get outside. Flag on the play. Neal doesn't get much. We've got head coach Gino LaCava of Garces basketball, a school as small as Garces and as compact and as close-knit as Garces. It must be very special, Coach LaCava, to have, you're an old guy now, to rack up all those years in that gym. How close is it out there at that school?
I'll tell you what, they told me I was getting a new gym in the year 2000, so we love playing in that place, and the atmosphere that we get out there with those crazy kids and all those fans we have. It's a wonder. I think it's the best place in town to play, and teams fear coming in there, and because they know it's so ruckus and rowdy and crowded, and we think it's a great advantage. That old gym's probably won a few games for us.
2nd and 13 on a holding call from Liberty. We've got Gino LaCava with us for a couple of more minutes, we hope. In the first quarter, 4 minutes, Liberty hosting Garces. Final regular season game. To the right side, Slayton rolls out, fires it across. Oh, man, should have been caught. Should have been caught. Coach, before I let you go, as this winter season starts to come up, who are some of your tough opponents going to be in the city?
Oh, for goodness sake, Vance, probably the best this city's been in a long time. There's a half a dozen schools, all with the ability to beat each other, and just our league alone with East BHS and of course Liberty here, and Garces is 4 great teams, and then you get on the other side with Centennial, Stockdale, and Ridgeview, and you got to throw Golden Valley in the mix. There's a lot of really good teams. No easy games in town this year, just no easy games. This is as tough as it's been in a long time.
3rd and 13. Big play for both teams here early in the football game. Slayton rolls to his right, looks on a keeper. Slayton wrapped up hard, thrown down. That'll bring up 4th down. Interesting call. Coach LaCava, thank you for your time. Appreciate it. Looking forward to seeing you tomorrow night down at Rabobank.
Be out there with the jam.
See you, buddy.
With the jam. Thanks, Vance.
Good luck this year, Coach. Well, Kevin, nothing like starting off the football game with Gino LaCava on the air. Doesn't get any better than that. And his Garces Rams athletes.
Well, it's good to see Coach LaCava sharing his athletes. He's got Matt Sumlin down there on the field. Is going to help him out quite a bit on the hardwood. Quiet a bit.
I told him, I said, number 84's got a white uniform down there, no dirt. He goes, yeah, let's keep it that way. High spiraling punt, and that's going to go out of bounds. So Garces defense stepping up when they needed to after a big run by Neal. And I know you were talking to the radio team when Neal had that big game, but a penalty brings it back also. So, Brian, what's on your mind?
Well, guys, one of the things that I want to talk about is Garces' defense has led them all season long, and that's been their strength and their strong point. It's always if they can get some offense. When they've gotten offense rolling and got some plays from that offense and touchdowns, they've really been impressive. So if they can get their offense going and put some kind of pressure on Liberty, you never know what happens. But right now, they've hung their hand on their defense, and so far the defense is coming through.
Great point, Brian. What I'm noticing right here is a trend that Coach Finucci is being very patient with his team. They're hanging the hat on the defense, like you said, and it may come down to a game of turnovers. They want to control the football and play field position. Doing an excellent job so far.
We talk about that all the time. Whether we're talking about it on Friday night, you hear them talk about it on Saturday, or you hear them talk about it on Sunday. If you can not turn the ball over and play solid defense, you give yourself a chance to win. Talking about basketball, Gino LaCava, I'm watching the game last night, UCLA and Miami, Ohio. That's what we talked about, Miami, Ohio. They're a great team in terms of controlling the ball, not turning the ball over. They give themselves a chance to have opportunities to win games. That's all you can really ask for from your team.
Excellent point, Brian. And, of course, Brian always, in all of my lacking up here, thank goodness I've got Brian. You, of course, stellar performance every week, but I'm stoked to be working with you guys. 2:22 left in the first, 2nd and 12. Garces, as Brian said, needs to get things going here. Fumble!
There's that turnover.
Oh, boy.
Just as we talked about the efficiency of the Garces offense, the Liberty linebackers stripped this ball. As you take a look there, actually it was Cody Temple that knocked that thing away, and SQ and his buddies do a good job of falling on the ball.
Wow. Just like that on the 25-yard line, Liberty takes over. Oh, boy.
And what a lift for the Patriots to see number 23 back. He's been gone for a couple of weeks now with a shoulder injury. His father, Moses, outstanding fireman, is down. He's just got called away on strike team to go fight some of those fires down in Southern California, but it's good to see Chris Neal coming out. Talked to him before the game, and he talked about where he might go to school next year. He says that there's a good chance that he may go to Fresno State next year and play some baseball. Outstanding infielder, outfielder.
For the national champions.
Not a bad choice.
Fresno State, national champion baseball team.
You can't get better than the champs, can you?
Wow. Well, we saw Brent Morrell before the game tonight. He's in the bigs now. Oh, boy. That's going to be movement. Right side of the line. The offensive line for Liberty for years, been huge, strong, fast. One of them was Corey Actis, now the line coach. We also saw the parents of Adam Herron walking into the game tonight. Special hello to Terry and Jerry Herron and Stephanie. And we were kind of cruising in and saw Kevin. And
Adam Herron, one of my favorite JV football players of the past when I coached up here.
2nd and 9. Nice get to the outside, but he's corralled in there and hauled down by Andrew Finucci.
Bloodline football.
He makes a good cut here, and he thinks he has some space, but Finucci comes in and grabs the jersey. Ooh, man. Could have been a long game by Neal. 3rd and 10. You know that Adam Herron still calls me Uncle Vance? Still, when the guy's as big as a mountain. 3rd and 9. Slayton looks back, has a quick word with Neal. 43 seconds left in the first quarter. Nobody scored. Slayton drops straight back. Looks. Ball slips out of his hands. Well, it'll be a 4th down, and now they'll go for a field goal, obviously, with Colton Schmidt. Cannon of a leg.
Take a look at Colton Schmidt, as you might be looking at one of the top kickers in the entire valley. This guy, when you look at him, the size of him, he's a pretty big young man. They got him listed at 5'11". He's just right under 6 foot, 185 pounds. Built, very strong, powerful legs.
42-yarder, and they get the hard snap, and that'll move it up about to the 27-yard line. So it's on Garces, make it 4th and 4 now, Kevin.
What do you do here, Brian?
Well, this early in the game, and you got 3 points coming right here. I mean, unless it's a bad snap, this is 3. I mean, he just put that a good 25 yards past the uprights and right down the middle. I say you take your 3 and let your defense come out and play. Because I would challenge Garces to put points on the board. I would say Garces with our front guys cannot make big plays against us.
Well, they're going to take your advice, Brian. Now it'll be a 37-yarder instead of a 42-yarder. They do it again. Look at this.
Again. Now that's going to give them a first down. The sophomore rookie Jalen Sykes just a little bit too excited, wanting to block this kick. And I'm not sure that they didn't draw him off, but a nice hard count nonetheless by the Patriots to pick up the first down. Boy, that's costly right there. So 2 mental mistakes coupled by a physical mistake.
Here's that third down.
Ryan Patterson was wide open there in the little sit route. So turnovers and penalties are costly. Those are some of the things in a close ball game that you can't afford.
1st and 10. Hand off to Neal. Neal looking for some space, and he's just going to bull his way up to about the 7-yard line. And, you talk about a break.
Oh, that's a great run that time by Chris Neal. Takes the ball on the left side, cuts it back. And you talk about yards after contact. He's probably one of the best guys in town that gets up those extra yards. Getting a little help from his offensive lineman.
Well, I don't know if they'll get this play off, and they do not. That's the end of the first quarter. It's 0-0. High school football game of the week, week 10, last week of the regular season. We're at Liberty. They host Garces. Nobody scored yet. Back with the second quarter.
Got a job to do? Premier Equipment Rentals is your answer. Residential or industrial, we've got exactly what you need to get the job done. Whether it's a drill, trencher, bobcat, backhoe, or excavator, you can always count on Premier Equipment Rentals. And with our new extended hours, we're available when you need us. Check us out at 3217 Patton Way and 5001 Stein Road, or give us a call to find out more. Don't forget to ask about our weekend specials. Make your next project a breeze with Premier Equipment Rental.
Jump into a life you love.
Jump into geology.
Jump into culinary arts.
Jump into a life you love.
Jump into a life you love. Jump into music.
With an amazing low cost per credit
Jump into a life you love.
and financial aid,
Jump into acting.
Bakersfield College is more affordable than ever.
Jump into a life you love. Jump into college.
Your life's waiting, so jump.
And welcome back. It's the second quarter. We're out on the west side where the Liberty Patriots are hosting the Garces Rams. 0-0 as the Patriots are threatening. Got a turnover from the Rams, and then the Rams did a great job on defense, stopping them, third down, and then the Patriots came in to try to kick a field goal, but the Rams jumped off sides, created about a 4th and 4. They lined up to kick the field goal again, and the Rams jumped one more time. So the Patriots pick up a first down, and Chris Neal started off that drive with a nice 8-yard run. That brings up 2nd and 2. So the Patriots are looking here to pick up another first down. Dylan Slayton, the senior quarterback, brings his team up to the line of scrimmage. Neal's alone back. He gets the ball. He's got some room. Touchdown, Chris Neal. Welcome back, Chris Neal. Well, there was a great job that time by the offensive line, led by big number 77, Lionel Ruby. But Lionel's got some help tonight. Daniel Swainston has moved to the center position. And the two guards tonight are two sophomores that they brought up. Big number 65, Doug Blaxel, sophomore. They got him listed at 6'4", 220 pounds. And then the young kid, Chris Sizemore, number 70. As you see the kick from Colton Smith, up and good. But the one thing that I talked to Coach Actis about before the game is he said, Coach, keep an eye on these young kids. We just brought them up from JV because of some injuries, but they're pretty good, and they'll hold their own tonight, just sophomores. So this is good for the future for the Patriots.
Well, we see a look in our Bakersfield College replay. Chris Neal is speedy and as fast as anybody in the Valley, and that close to it. He sniffs it, smells it, gets in. And Kevin, appreciate your reporting on this Liberty squad. 7-0 first play of the second quarter, pay dirt for the Patriots.
Take a look here on the BC Instant Replay. Got some good blocking by number 74 for the Patriots, Sean Santillion, senior lineman, 6 foot, 255 pounds. So senior night for the Patriots. I understand they had 43 seniors on this roster tonight.
43 seniors, how many on the team, 60? Now, Kevin, correct me if I'm wrong, the JV team, they went 9-1 or undefeated?
No, they had a loss, maybe even 2 losses on the season this year, Brian. Head coach Chris Barron does an outstanding job, understands the tradition of this school, former driller.
Speaking of the drillers, by the way, congratulations to the Foshop team for BHS. A perfect record, not a loss. A perfect record as I look down and say hi to Alex Otten. Hello, Alex. A fine, fine baritone bass in the church choir. Now he wants a piece of me, I better back off.
One of my good friends sitting down next to Ben McKnight. Outstanding Patriot family.
Wow. Bernard McKnight. McKnight. I cut a video my senior year in college for my communications class with Ben McKnight, my brother-in-law Paul Dameron, and I went skeet shooting. Added a little music to it. Happy train. What if he remembers that, Ben? A long boot by Schmidt, expected.
Nice weapon to have there, not giving those speedy return guys like Brian Adams a chance to return the ball.
Yeah, you're not going to get a return when you got Schmidt kicking, especially no wind, nothing against him. He's going to put that in the end zone every time. You got to know you're going 80 yards and better have a good game plan for it.
Well, in about 4 or 5 minutes from now, so I can get Brian prepped and ready, final Week 10 regular season second quarter prognostications. Big games going on in the city tonight. Garces, 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line. It's going to be 2nd and about 13 as they have a loss on their first play.
Jalen Sykes is going to be hit in the backfield by Rain Cravens. Let's take a look at the young sophomore. Nifty little move back there, but Rain is Johnny on the spot. Cody Wong also in on the play. Chase Wright is going to pass. Now he's got some room to run. He's still.
Oh boy.
Gets rid of it and it's complete downfield.
To Joe Bell. Well, I saw that Nick Salvucci, wide open, ran a great route and the ball was coming to him. If you look, you'll see right here where Chase Wright gets in the pocket, gets out of the pocket, finds a gap, fires it, and you'll look closely, you'll see Joe Bell, and right behind him to the right, there's Nick Salvucci. So either way, 2 sure-handed receivers out there. You know, Nick was running the ball last week, banged up, injured, gave it his all. A lot of heart in Nick Salvucci. He and Joe Bell are there for the reception. First down, Garces.
Well, Chase Wright was very close to being past the line of scrimmage, and that's what Grandpa Nick is going to say.
By the way, if you're just tuning in, you missed that right off the bat in the football game. We had a request from Nick Ellis, the referee tonight, to say something to his grandkids, and he put in his own words, Grandpa Nick. So we're not throwing him under the senior citizen bus. 3rd and 10. Handoff up the middle. What a nice run this is. Runs out of room though, and that's going to bring up a 4th and long. So Garces will have to punt after what would have been a nice first down pass from Wright to Bell.
Darius Jones was the ball carrier there. Keep an eye on that young man. He's got some talent. They've got him listed 5'6", 181 pound. He's at that dangerous fullback spot there for the Rams that should be effective on the belly. In order for them to go tonight, he's got to be a guy that gets them going.
Dylan Meadows standing at his own 44-yard line. Perfect snap. The punt. Another long, booming punt. Meadows grabs it at the 40, so a nice punt out there by Stephen Harmer. Harmer doing a great job as always. What a nice boot that was.
Harmer's got a pretty good foot himself, Vance. As you saw, that first punt went for about 45, 50 yards.
You got enough room in here?
Am I crowding you in the booth?
You're okay.
Posting you up. Huh? You don't get. It's not too often a little guy posts you up.
Kevin Keys, kind enough to pull some strings and get us in this nice booth tonight, but he's got me pinned up against the wall. He's got an elbow in my gut. Hey, we got to talk about our pregame. What a great pregame tonight. Singing jazz. What kind of pregame is that? Slayton has a man across the middle, overthrows him by a bunch. Brian, it's a nice route. He was wide open, just can't connect.
Well, Vance, I have to disagree with you. That's a dangerous pass number. The reason I'm going to tell you why is because you have a kid who's the area champion in the 100 meters, and when you're throwing, he's going to be able to have space like that where he can close. And you saw how fast someone closed the distance. You have to be real careful throwing to a speedster in this area because he can outrun your receiver to the ball.
Wow, look at that. Oh, I completely agree with you. The ball was overthrown by a bunch. Kept it out of danger's way. 2nd and 10. Slayton to Neal. Neal looking to break through, and he does. Look out, everybody. Oh, man. Woo! He almost broke that one. Again, Andrew Putman, the erstwhile senior, stops at a sure touchdown.
Well, Chris Neal has really found his rhythm tonight, running as hard as we've seen him run in a long time. It reminds me of his comeback game against Stockdale. Big lift tonight for Coach Mills, Liberty Patriots. He said, Coach Keys, we might have a ace up our sleeves tonight. Got some good news from the doctor, and number 23 might be able to play tonight, so good to see him back.
All right, 2nd quarter, timeout. That's a cue right there. Our full moon picks.
My picker's on his way.
Your picker is on his way. Do you want us to hold up?
Hold up.
All right, we'll hold up. Brian has pretty much gave up on his picks. He's considered his record not too strong, so he's got Nico's going to make his picks. These are full moon picks. Actually, last night, technically a full moon, but we'll go with a less than 23-hour full moon 2nd quarter picks. Big games tonight. Bakersfield Christian at Taft. Ay. Simon Simona from the Californians covering that out at Taft. Bakersfield Christian 8-1 at Taft 7-2. You and I yesterday on the air talked about a lot of these games. By the way, everybody, Corey Costello up in Wyoming covering the Roadrunners on KRN 1410. He asked me to sub in and a guest host his show yesterday, Home Turf. I did. Kevin was kind enough to call in. We had a good rap. Monday, Brian's going to call in. We're going to talk about a couple of things. And Kevin, you and I talked about these games yesterday. West Stockdale, Bakersfield at Highland. The Drillers up at your neck of the woods tonight, 6-3. Both teams, Golden Valley, 6-3 at Foothill. Big games. Here we go. 1st and 10 on the Garces 43-yard line. Kevin, what's on your mind?
We'll just take a look at this. I thought Highland was, Liberty was running a little check with me, but actually the ball wasn't spiked yet. Slayton drops back to pass, got a man open, just overthrown.
Oh, just what Brian was talking about in Sumlin.
Brian, I'm impressed with Matt Sumlin's cover skills as a cornerback.
Well, he's an athlete, and a lot of times when you look at it, you look at the NFL, college, the best overall athletes play in that corner position or using that corner spot. So he definitely has that situation.
You know what? We need to make sure we don't ask Brian a question when he's got a steak sandwich in his mouth. Sorry, Brian. We can't see a hide back there with that steak sandwich.
Well, I was eating my sandwich. You guys came at me. Talking about how good that sandwich was. I had to get one.
But anytime you get a chance to talk about an athlete, you just drop the steak sandwich. Good call, Brian.
Well, the Liberty Patriots offense paying about as much attention to the clock as we were to the whereabouts of Brian.
But I will tell you this, though, guys. One thing that you have to do as an offensive coordinator, you don't go attack the best athlete. Now, he knock upstairs to tell Van Horn something. You go to the guy that's the lesser of two evils.
2nd and 15. Slayton has one back with him. And it's going to be a screen, and they overthrow him. And he takes a big hit out there. He was hit by Randall Chafin, so Chafin hits him. Slayton goes down, 3rd and 15. And
well, Chafin did a great job for two reasons there. He not only disrupted Neal on the route here, as you see him come from his outside linebacker position, disrupts the routes there, and then continues and puts the pressure on Dylan Slayton. That's just a great job by that young man to just disrupt the entire play.
Senior night at Liberty, week 10, and here's a look at it from another angle, the overthrow. 3rd and 15. Under 10 minutes left here in the half. Slayton drops straight back, has more pressure, finds a man over, and it's caught. What a nice pass, and he's still on his feet, and he makes the move. Oh, goodness gracious, Trent Eskew. What a great nab, a big hit, stays on his feet, Kevin. 1st and goal.
Well, Trent Eskew shows his athleticism there. Here's a guy that is a tight end, but he has the ability to run good routes. Does a good job of getting open here, but look at him go up and make that catch. Lowers his shoulder there, breaks a tackle, and it shows a little bit of speed. Trent Eskew, the outstanding defensive end and tight end, making the big play for the Patriots.
They hand it to Neal. Neal trying to get outside, cuts back, a la Marcus Allen, touchdown.
Well, that's a great comparison there, and that's exactly who Chris Neal reminds me of. He looks like a young Marcus Allen, Vance. Great cutback run and just a nose for the end zone.
13-0 Liberty on a big pass play from Slayton to Eskew that sets up the 2nd touchdown run by Chris Neal.
The general was there, almost got him before he got into the end zone. Grant Campbell just couldn't get him soon enough as Colton Smith puts this thing through for the extra point.
14-0. And you mentioned the general, Grant Campbell, 6'2", 220-pound. Can you believe sophomore, younger brother of the Lumberjack, Jack Campbell, Texas Tech Red Raider.
Number 1 in the nation, Texas Tech Red Raiders, we must say.
The Lumberjack was on the field 2 weeks ago for the big defeat over Texas. His cousin.
That's got to be an exciting time for a young man.
No, Centennial.
Byron Campbell playing up north, but his younger brother playing on the JV squad.
Young Blake.
Blake Campbell. So Campbell's all over tonight.
Saw Blakey at practice the other day. He sprouted up to about 6'3", 6'4". He's almost taller than Big Brother.
Wow. So 14-0 Liberty. Garces arrived at the game at 7:38. 7:39. Got off the bus kicked a couple field goal attempts, and the game started. Their defense has not shown that at all, albeit a 14-0 score. They played very well. Offense has not been able to get things clicking here. So Liberty up 2 touchdowns, 8:53 left in the first half. You're watching high school football game of the week on Bright House Network's Bakersfield. Exclusive coverage on Channel 21, Bakersfield On Demand Channel 300 for all of your replays, if you will. And there have been some great games this season in 08. And a lot of these games you can go on, and all the games you can go on, some of them are instant classics. BHS's late win over Liberty, Centennial and North last week. Goodness gracious.
If you haven't seen that game, go take a look at it, because you will see one of the all-time great running backs at North High School, Julian Dean Johnson, his big game against the Golden Hawks. Record-setting first half of rushing the football. He ran for over 320 yards during that first half. Just an outstanding effort.
I watched your interview with him, Barber Honda player of the game. Nice young man.
Oh, he's an outstanding young man. He's come a long way. He understands what his weaknesses are, and he's working to get better. Really appreciates the job that Coach Camps has done with him and bringing him along, and the discipline that he's instilled in that young man. As Chase Wright brings his team out in the wing tee, gives it to Darius Jones, the wingback. Fights for about a yard or two. Bring up 2nd and 8 for the Rams. It's a good look at Darius Jones.
Of course, we'd like to thank Bakersfield College for being our instant replay sponsor. Premier Equipment Rentals for the great scissor lifts our cameramen are using all season long, and for the pregame show that Kevin puts together with our Bright House Network's production crew during the week. And of course, Barber Honda for the Player of the Game Award. Many years they've been involved in. Fumble! Well, not really a fumble, just a bad snap, and he pays the price. Right. Wrapped up and put down instantly by Eskew, but not a fumble, everybody, but a bad snap.
So Trent Eskew making an early bid here.
Ooh,
he's been involved on both sides of the ball. Trent Eskew recovered a fumble earlier. Has a sack and a nice long reception that set up that second touchdown for the Patriots.
3rd and 11. Garces still not able to get things going offensively. But I say that in a big hole and a big first down. Look at that. What a nice run out there by Sykes.
And a great second effort by Sykes to pick up the first down. That's something as a running back coach you gotta love, to see a kid hit and spin and pick up extra yardage. Take a look at this on the BC Instant Replay. Nice ball fake there to Darius Jones and Sykes. Nice job by the offensive line of the Rams. Jalen Sykes talked to his father before the game, James Sykes, outstanding City Parks and Rec employee, former Eastern Michigan All-State baseball player.
And off this time again to Jones. Jones gets a 9-yard carry as we dip below 7 minutes, and here comes Garces.
What a nice 1-2 punch here with Darius Jones and Jalen Sykes. As you see Jones pick his spots there. We'll hear these two called for another year. As you take a look at Chris Neal on the sideline there. Outstanding young man.
Jones breaks one tackle, breaks another, picks up the first down. Brian, you like what you see down there right now?
Well, that's what these two kids can give you. They give you a dual punch from that wing back and back position. He can hit the ball up hard and go in. And Jalen Sykes, he has great instincts. One thing I was able to see him when he's a freshman, he has that ability to make guys miss, and guys, you can't teach that. You can do all the spark drills and whatever other drills you want to do. That's just an innate instinct thing where they just know where players are, and he has that ability.
1st and 10.
And you can't key on those guys, because as soon as you do, number 4, Riley Scott, is a guy that can hurt you. We've seen him find the end zone all year. Riley Scott, the talented senior for the Rams, bloodline.
You know, so they have it going right now, but the thing about it is if you can get them in 3rd and long, that's when I watched the San Joaquin Memorial game. It was on that actual Saturday, the Holy Bowl, and that's where they have problems, and it's been historical with them for the last few years. When you can get them in 3rd and long, that's when you put Garces in a bind.
Well, it's a 2nd and 8 now. Let's see how they deal with it.
Right. Oh, nice route by Mullen. It was wide open. Probably got, sorry about that, Vance. I was just looking at that. He came off the line of scrimmage. Nice job by Wright here.
And normally Sumlin, the athlete, has great hands.
Well, if we can get one more replay, you can see why the ball's a miss. If we can get another replay.
That ball tip? Kind of a wobbly pass.
Watch his head. The pass is wobbly, that's fine, but watch his head. It never raises up to see the ball. His head is straight ahead, the ball's above his head. You have to have that ball in the picture to be able to catch the ball effectively.
Well, on a big 3rd and 8, Sykes gets nowhere, and that brings up a 4th and 8. So just as Garces was getting some momentum, and now the ball at midfield with 5 minutes left, I think Coach Fanucchi's doing the right thing, sending the punt team in at midfield, 10 yards to get a 1st down.
Great job by Cody Elliott there. Big number 58 for the Patriots. Senior, 5'11", 215 pounds.
As we dip below 5 minutes, Harmer will wait for the deep snap. And deep for Liberty is Ryan Patterson, another big boot. Patterson wants to run with it and does. Fumble!
Uh-oh, Garces has got it. Big break for the Rams.
And that's Philip McCullum right there on special teams. And he's been huge on special teams for him all year, guys. He's blocked a punt. He's picked up a punt block against Tehachapi, turned the game around in that game. Had a block punt against BHS, and there he is making a play on the coverage, running down, knocking the ball out.
And Zach Bronkowski on top of it. And that ball didn't even bounce around. It went right into Bronkowski. He was all over it, right on top of it.
Well, Philip McCullum is a guy that Coach Fanucchi loves, as you see. Darius Jones take the ball there on 1st down, but Coach Fanucchi talked about McCullum and his ability to get things done. He's an outstanding player, and he's also just a junior, Brian.
Well, he and Matt Sumlin are probably 2 of the best overall athletes they have. When I say overall athletes, these are guys that can play multiple sports at a high level. When I talk about athleticism, they are 2 of the best that they have at Garces, and they have to find a way to get them involved some way. But right now, you're seeing that lack of not being able to pass what it does to you, because people just key on the run, and it makes it difficult for you to put points on the board. They got to learn how to move the ball differently. Just you can't always pound it, especially against a team like Liberty or BHS. You don't have that kind of offensive force in your line to really do that.
Yikes, penalty on Garces. So as they get these breaks and they try to capitalize on them and get some momentum, they continue to go backwards. I believe it's Taylor and Ashley, I believe, that I said hi to a few weeks ago on the air. I see them again tonight. JV Liberty cheerleaders. They're back. They're back. Under 4 minutes left. The second quarter's flown by. We do have some second quarter thoughts on some of these games that are going around in the city, but this quarter's flying by. 3:45 left in the half. Garces needs to get in the end zone or get a field goal. Liberty all over it. Can't get anywhere, Sykes.
Big number 75. Excuse me, Brian. Go ahead.
You know, Kevin, you're just not going to make a living against Liberty. Coach Provensal's not here, but these guys play. One thing I've known about Liberty since I've been doing high school and watching them, they play great interior run defense. It's very hard to run against them consistently. You got a couple good runs in the last series, but how many series you run, you only had one decent series. You have to be able to pass the ball against Liberty. If you cannot pass the ball at Liberty, you're going to have a hard time for success.
Well, Brian, you make a great point. And Rick Brogdon, the defensive coordinator for the Patriots, hasn't missed a beat. He's done an outstanding job. And this defense is as good as it's been in a long time. And give him the credit, because he's designed this defense for him.
3rd and 17, right on the move, and he gets swallowed up and hit very hard.
There he goes.
Cody Temple.
Ouch. When he wraps you up, and take a look at this guy make a tackle in the open field. If you think he's just a defensive lineman, think again. This is not an easy play. Look at him come to balance there for a big guy. I didn't say break down. When you use the term break down, it implies that something's not working right. What he does is he comes to balance, wraps up, and makes a great open field tackle for a big 275-pound defensive lineman.
But he's got to thank his secondary for that one. That's a sack for their coverage.
Wow. 47-yard attempt by Chafin. 47-yarder. And that's woefully short and to the left. Not even close. So it'll be 1st and 10 Liberty.
Well, Nick Shannon busted through and maybe disrupted that. Good job by the youngster bloodline.
All right, Brian. Kevin, a couple of thoughts here. Big football game out in oil country. Bakersfield Christian 8-1 at Taft. Kevin, your thoughts? You don't have to give me a pick as much as let me know what you think.
Well, I think it could be one of those shootouts like Brian talked about that we had. Look at the little Brock there. Good-looking family there. The House of Bagels. I love the Wildcats out there in Taft. They're a football team that's going to control the football. They're going to get it done on the ground. As we look at Chris Deal, try to get it done on the ground, breaks a few tackles, and finally brought down.
Brian, what are your thoughts on Bakersfield Christian and Taft?
Well, I'm telling you right now, Bakersfield Christian has too many Division I athletes out there for anybody, in my opinion, probably in town. They could have actually played in any of the leagues this year and been dominant when you have that kind of athleticism. And now they're starting to play well together. So I think BCHS rolls in that game.
And did I even pick on that, or I was on the fence, wasn't I?
You mentioned the other week that, picking might not be as important as commentating and describing it, which I agree. 2nd and 8.
Fumble!
Oh, boy. All right, what about this? West 5-4 at Stockdale 7-2 on paper. Even on the radio yesterday we talked about this. On paper, looks like Stockdale, but Coach Grider and the Vikings.
They're hit their stride. Coach Grider has got these guys believing that they are effective as they play as a team. These guys are learning not to be selfish. I tell you what, with their game plan, the way they scheme teams, Brock Hayes is one of my favorite players in town. We haven't got a chance to see that young man, but West High could win that game.
3rd and 13. Slayton has the I formation behind him. Here comes Garces. Hand off to Neal. Neal cuts up. Ooh, nice, strong, tough run, but not enough. Brian, West High Vikings at Stockdale.
Well, I'll tell you one thing that I learned watching Stockdale. When Silva's healthy and he's the lone back, they are extremely difficult on offense, and he's healthy again. I'm going with the Stockdale Mustangs.
Snowball.
4th down, Liberty's going to have to punt. Zach at the Bakersfield Californian has a great line here when we look at his Super 6 pick. Bakersfield 6-3 at Highland 6-3. His line is, you know what? The Drillers rack up another victory that makes it hard to see how they ever lose. Great line, but Brian Adams, your two schools going at it, you and Kevin. Your Drillers up at Highland.
Well, I know I picked the Drillers a few times this year, and they've come up short. But think about it. They got 3 losses, 2 of their losses against 2 of the top teams in the section. So I'm going with the Drillers tonight. We've seen Highland this year. Highland just has not showed me anything except in the games we've seen except for Ridgeview. I just don't know if they have enough, and I think the Drillers going to roll tonight.
Kevin, Drillers up at your neck of the woods.
Well, the last time that the Scotsmen had beaten the Drillers was in the 1979 season.
I was going to say, did you play it?
Got a chance to visit with the Scotsmen last night. We had a nice barbecue, and we talked about a little bit of history. Gave those guys a little bit of motivation, had some tri-tip.
Wow.
A little bit of food sponsored by the pantry, and these guys are ready to play. So, Brian, they believe they can play with them.
Do they have 12 or 13 men on the field at a time? That's all I need to know. If it's still 11, it's a no-go.
I will tell you this, Brian. Kevin did say they're the best 6-3 team in the city. 19 seconds left in the half. And Liberty's going to punt. And deep for Garces will not be the speedy and dangerous Nick Salvucci.
Now, Kevin, won't you think with 19 seconds you're down for it? I bring all 10 guys and try to go for a block right here.
Well, Brian, I'd like to have Kevin answer you, but he's left the booth. He's gone. He's disappeared. The punt is up. Looking for a return and takes it. Look at this. Sykes trying to do something, and that'll mean a one-down series coming up with 8 seconds left in the half. Brian, Kevin is checked out early. No answer, no response from him.
He's gone already. I didn't mean to scare him off. He must be going to suit up at halftime. Make it 12 against 11.
Well, Brian had asked you a question, but that's okay. I mean, if you want to bust out 19 seconds early.
Hey, Brian, I was up here talking to your boss. Coach John Roberts came up into the booth to say hello. He says hi.
Always a pleasure to talk to him.
The chief wants to know if you made all days of work this week.
What did you say?
The chief wants to know if you made all your hours in this week.
I get all my time card right.
Well, we'll get one more play in, fellas. 4 seconds left. Long pass over the middle to intended for Riley Scott, thrown behind him. And Riley Scott, as talented as they get, the ball just thrown a hair behind him. He tries to turn back around and get this. That would have been an exceptional catch, even with Scott's standards.
Well, you want to talk bloodline football there. The son of Jim and Robin.
You know, the Bakersfield Jam were in the Veterans Parade the other day. I got off my scooter, went up, shook hands with Jim, hope to try to get a couple votes out.
There's Jones with a big run.
And that'll do it for the half. 14-0 Liberty over Garces. A lot of bloodline football here in the last game of the regular season. 2 touchdowns up for Liberty back in the second half.
Get rid of your old gas guzzler and buy used at the Barber Honda's Used Car Super Center. With over 200 cars, you'll get Superstar treatment and state-of-the-art service at the new Barber Honda Service Center. It's the absolute best in Kern County. Find a pre-owned, fuel-efficient car that's just right for you. And Barber Honda has the largest selection of certified pre-owned Hondas. Don't wait until gas is over $6 a gallon. Start saving gas and money now at the Barber Honda Used Car Super Center, 4625 Wyville Road at the entrance to the Bakersfield Auto Mall.
Jump into a life you love.
Jump into geology.
Jump into culinary arts.
Jump into a life you love.
Jump into a life you love. Jump into music.
With an amazing low cost per credit
Jump into a life you love.
and financial aid,
Jump into acting.
Bakersfield College is more affordable than ever.
Jump into a life you love. Jump into college.
Your life's waiting, so jump.
With cooking, cleaning, planning, and homework to do, when it's time for TV shows, you might not make it in time to watch. So let them wait for you. You've got Startover, powered by Bright House Networks, letting you restart certain live TV shows right from the very beginning, all with just a few clicks of the select button on your remote. It's free and included with your digital cable. So when it comes to time, you've got plenty of it. Startover, powered by Bright House Networks, making life easier.
Welcome back, everybody. Second half, week 10, last week of regular season football on Bright House Network's high school football game of the week. Thank you to Premier Equipment Rentals for the pregame show and the scissor lifts that our cameramen are on for these high shots. And that's not the London fog rolling in. It's halftime participation, fun, frolicking. And 14-0 Liberty leads, thanks to Bakersfield College for the instant replay and Barber Honda player of the game. Hats off to the Liberty High School marching band and color guard. That was big time. They sounded great. About 12 xylophone players had a little riff right in the middle of one of their songs, and all of them on it. No clams whatsoever. 14-0 Liberty, 2-touchdown lead over Garces. And before we get too far into it, because the third quarter we have a very special guest that we're going to bring in here in just a few moments. I'm Vance Palm. I've got Kevin Keys next to me. Brian Adams down on the grass. Brian, your thoughts on the first half. Brian Adams.
Well, hey, Liberty did a great job of putting points on the board, capitalizing on some mistakes from the Garces Rams. But the defense did a great job of holding up. They only got 14 points, and they still give Garces a chance to be in this game. They have to figure out a way to get some kind of offense and put some points on the board if they want to have a chance to come back in the second half.
Kevin Keys.
Well, the Rams showed up late to the game today, and they were slow starting. They were plagued by some turnovers and made some costly penalties. Not a whole lot of action in the first half, but the Patriot defensive line dominated this game as they penetrated all night against the Rams offense. Six 7 sacks in the first half by the Patriots.
Rams will kick off. And if they're going to give Liberty very good field position, maybe too good a field position, as the run back of Romero, Villarreal brings it down to, oh my gosh, the Garces.
Well, you got to question that squib kick here. I don't know if it was supposed to be an onside, but squib kick taken by Romero Villarreal as he shows his speed on the sideline to give the Patriots great field position.
Well, they said he stepped out at the 39-yard line, but the thing about the kick is that it took such a poor bounce. Well, I guess it would say a great bounce for Liberty. It ended up popping up in the sky and plopping right into the hands of Villarreal. So now it's 1st and 10, Liberty on the Garces 39-yard line to start the second half. And in motion is Dylan Meadows. Slayton has everything to choose from here on the smorgasbord. Oh, man. We're going to start the third quarter off with a great discussion, great interview with Kevin Keys, and I'll allow him to introduce his guest, but I'll start it off by saying I first had a chance to kind of hear his wisdom and hear his discussion at a very, very exciting and one of the greatest football games I've ever called in high school football, 2002 Valley Championship game between San Joaquin Memorial and Garces High School. And that was a whale of a finish. I enjoyed calling that game. And right after this play, I'm going to have you introduce your guest, and I'm getting out of the way. Maybe I'll go get another steak sandwich.
Chris Neal, the ball carrier. He's got a lot of room up the middle, running hard. Still on his feet, brought down by Andrew Fanucci. And that's a great segue. Thank you, Vance. Our special guest tonight is Chief John Roberts of the probation department, a former Garces football coach, coached up there for about 24 years, was involved in about 6 Valley championships during his time. And when you think about the number of championships that he's been involved in, you think about some of the great coaches around this area, guys like Ned Permitter, who was unfortunate not to have one Valley championship. As you see Dylan Slayton hit as he lets the ball go, passes completed. Nice little pitch and catch there by Slayton. But Coach Roberts, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
You are a guru of the wing tee. You were one of the guys who started this offense up there. You know, we've had many discussions about how the wing tee is effective. Give me your points of view of the wing tee and when it's most effective.
Well, I think it's just a wonderful offense. It's multi-dimensional. The running attack is very strong with the offense, and it's also a great offense for play action passes. And certainly in my career coaching at Garces, the wing tee virtually broke almost every offensive record that we had in the book. So yeah, it's very effective when it's executed properly.
Here's a nice looking play here as the Patriots pick up another first down in the red zone. Great job by the Liberty offensive line, and Chris Neal running the ball hard, penetrating the goal line again. Coach, you take a look at why Garces' offense has not been that effective tonight. We talked about the penetration that Liberty's defensive line has had. What does that do to a wing tee offense?
Well, it's going to have a negative effect on the offense if they're getting penetration, but that's going to be the same with any offense. But certainly Liberty has a very strong and physical defense, and I think that has a lot to do with it.
So the Rams are tightening up here on goal line as you see Slayton give the ball to Neal again on the right side. Great job by Andrew Fanucci and George Merck to get in on that tackle. Coach, your last game that you coached in up here at Garces, you guys won a championship. Talk about some of those teams as we see the Patriots bowl close to a touchdown. They signal, there it is, touchdown Patriots, and they'll go up 21-0 here early in the second half. Coach, that 2002 season for Garces, pretty special group of guys.
Oh, it was. Outstanding group of kids. Great parent support, as always, that you get at Garces. It was an undefeated season, and the Valley Championship game was just a scorcher. I think the score was 42-39, and San Joaquin Memorial played a great game, especially in the fourth quarter, and fortunately we were able to come out with a win. But what a nerve-wracking game that was, but what a great feeling when we won it.
Well, we covered that game on Bright House. I hear our producer, Bernie Johnson, saying that, hey, we were in that game. They had an outstanding quarterback that did San Joaquin Memorial.
Yeah.
Big 6'4" guy. But some of the guys that you've coached with over the years at Garces, those guys you brought over with you from the probation department. Clay Farr was one of those guys.
Outstanding line coach for us for years. Matt Fontaine came over from the probation department. Of course, other great coaches like Ed Beadle and David Finucci was coaching with us at that time. He was doing a great job with this Garces program right now, and others, coaches that came into the program and coached for a while and left. But it was a great experience, good coaching staff. John Finucci, an outstanding head football coach. I got the greatest respect for him and his commitment to Garces High School and to that football program. And he's like a brother to me. I love him to death.
Coach, before we let you go, probation department just celebrated 100 years. Talk about that experience as you guys had your gala the other night.
Oh, it was great. We brought back some former chiefs, and they had the opportunity to talk about their era when they were chiefs, and it was interesting. And it was a great celebration, and I'm certainly very proud of all the work that the probation department has done over those 100 years, and it's really a department that is committed to a safe community.
One of the outstanding greats of Kern County, big offensive lineman, played up for the Renegades, big Bill Williamson, a former chief. Was he there?
No, Bill wasn't there. We missed him, but that gave us a chance to talk about him, and so he took a few jibes, but it was all in good fun.
Well, there it is, Kern County, another former great coach. It's always a pleasure having the old-timers come back. We kid with John Roberts. He looks as young as we do. It's good to have you guys come back. Congratulations on a successful career as a Garces coach and also as the chief of the probation department as your department has grown to be one of the leaders. And you are now part of the Cal Grip, the gang task force. That's got to be quite an experience.
Yes, it is. I was appointed by the governor to that task force, and we're working on some strategies to introduce more evidence-based practices for dealing with delinquency, and so it's been a good experience.
So Chase Wright will hand off the ball to Jalen Sykes. He's got some room over the left side. Nice hard run by Sykes as he gets down close to the first down. Outstanding young sophomore is Jalen Sykes. Little mix up there in the backfield, but he does a great job cutting the ball upfield. That's what you want from a wing T guy. You start out going east-west, and then he sees that running lane.
Yep.
You're kind of smiling there because the offensive linemen are the guys who actually make that play go.
Oh, yeah. The great thing about the line play, offensive line play in the offense is the different opportunities. The guards pull all the time, and the tackles get to pull. The kids really love it.
And
they really get a kick out of it.
Coach, this is what they got to do more. They got to have some success on this belly play for everything else to be successful. Patriots have done a great job shutting down the Sally tonight, but when you think about the success that the Rams have had, it's been on this belly play.
Yeah.
So Chase will come out again. Wing T formation. Play action pass. He's got a man open downfield. Not much time to throw, though. Great job by Trent Eskew as he's been all over the field tonight for the Patriots. That is his third or fourth sack on the night. As you take a look at Trent there, he's just an athletic defensive end. Chase had a man open briefly. Give credit to the secondary. Cody Wong and Ryan Patterson in the backfield there. Austin Davis covering the receivers downfield. So, Coach, your strategy here is, if you're calling the offense here, it's 3rd and 14. What do you like here?
Thanks, Kevin. This is a tough call for any coach, but it looks like Garces came up with the right play with a first down on catch, about a 17-yard pass.
I figured you for a 3rd and long screen guy. I said, this is a great time for a screen play. But a nice job there by Chase Wright as we take a look at the BC instant replay. Matt Sumlin, great job of understanding down and distance. You see a lot of time in these young players, they don't get down to the first down marker, but Matt Sumlin there, great job.
Well, these are Garces kids. They're smart.
As opposed to what, Coach? Brian, are you hearing this?
Well, what happened on those other 3rd and longs?
I don't know. I think they were studying for this play.
One thing that I've been fortunate enough to compete against him when he was coaching and to watch his teams as I was starting my commentary career. And the one thing that I think about that team that won that title and they went undefeated is they were effective at doing everything good, whether it was special teams, passing the ball, defense. They were really balanced. They had a great ability to pass the ball and run the ball. And I thought that team was one of the better teams I've seen in a long time.
Great point, Brian, as we see the Rams turn the ball over again just as they were making progress. Darius Jones had a great run. We talked about the effectiveness of this belly play.
Yeah, it was a trap they ran right there, and they well executed and unfortunately fumbled the football.
Well, here it is on the BC instant replay, just in the open field. Bounced right up into the hands of the Patriot defender. Coach John Roberts, thanks again for joining us here tonight.
Thank you for having me, Kevin. I really appreciate it.
See you on Monday, boss.
And thanks for all the good work you're doing for the kids in the community with you and Sal Arias. Really appreciate that.
Thanks, John. The ball's going to be picked off by Jalen Sykes. He's got some running room. So the Rams get the ball back just like that. And that's actually going to be picked off by number 24, Sam Layden. Layden does a great job jumping the passing route there, picks up some extra yards on the interception as my good buddy Vance Palm joins us back again after his long break.
Well, Kevin, Garces has a great opportunity. They fumble the ball. Just what the doctor ordered, that interception. Layton standing back there waiting for. Appreciate that great conversation you have with Coach Roberts. Doesn't get any better than that. 1st and 10, Garces. Right up the middle, nice handoff there. And Brian, with Garces down 3 touchdowns, they can't afford to cough up the football. Fortunately, they get one last opportunity here in the 3rd quarter.
Well, Vance, we watched this interception right here on the instant replay. One thing we talked about is earlier they had the turnover off the punt, on the punt coverage, and they were able to capitalize. They have to capitalize and put some points on the board. At this point, they have to score 7. They can't kick a field goal here.
Nice little cutback run by Jalen Sykes.
And what I mean when I say last chance in the 3rd quarter, I mean they're not going to get many more of these. I'm sure Coach Mills is going to have a word with his guys and say, "Are you kidding me, fellas? Are you kidding me?" When trying to put the proverbial nail in the coffin. Come on.
Well, still plenty of time with 6 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. If they can get a score here, be down just by 2 scores.
Handoff up the middle, maybe 4 or 5 yards. Brings up 3rd and 4, 5:44 left in the 3rd quarter. I believe this is a who's who tonight, a who's who in this crowd. Just peering over the crowd tonight.
Well, who do you see now, Vance?
Well, I don't have permission from these people, and I keep dropping their names, so, I had to go up to a guy tonight and say, you know what, I didn't ask permission to drop your name, Rick Morrell, but
name dropper.
As he was standing with his son Brent, baseball phenom, thought we would just do it again. Hey, tough run outside, and that's not going to happen. Riley Scott trying to cut upfield, no room.
Great job
below 5 minutes.
Great job by Cody Wong to come up from his cornerback position. Take a look at Wong. Just nose on the football. Sykes has got to come out here and make that block outside, but credit Eskew for also being in, stringing that play out and allowing his cornerback to come up and make the play.
Cody Wong, a junior, 4th and 3. Yeah. Coach Adams, 4th and 3.
Maybe he's going to do. Who knows what they're going to do here? But the good thing about 4th and 3 is you have a lot of options.
Oh, boy. Coach Fanucchi looking for something. Thought his receiver was hit from behind.
Well, if you take a look at this play, it's a little slow developing here. Took a lot of time to get to his intended receiver, number 21, Kyle Knutson. Knutson almost came down with it, but it credit Austin Davis with a fine defensive play.
It was a good play, completely clean. Well, here we go. Now Liberty probably going to be given the short order address from the coach here. Hey, let's grind this clock out, shall we, fellas? As I say that, Slayton looks down the right side, goes for the hard count, almost gets him to jump, does hand the ball off to Neal. Neal cuts up the field. And a nice big gain out there. Gets about 12 yards, 13 yards, first down again.
We'll take a look at on the BC instant replay. Got a nice block from his pulling lineman on that little counter tray there, but Neal dangerous in the open field.
Boy, looks good, doesn't he? Looks good. Had a halftime score, BHS 33, Highland nothing.
Guess they didn't put the 12 and 13 men on the field, Kevin.
All right, Brian.
Oh, man. Brian pulled that gun out quick. Pow! Another hard count, and this time they get him to go. And that's the super stud Andrew Putman that jumped this time. He wants a piece of that backfield, but he gets caught.
Well, credit Dylan Slayton for looking at that, too. That's a smart, heady quarterback. Vary your snap count. That's one of the things you learn early on when you're playing this game, but you don't always think about when you're in the heat of a battle. But Dylan Slayton, one of those heady quarterbacks. Nice job.
The General Grant Campbell standing at the 40-yard line, looks in. And he's in a piece of the tackle, but they're keying on the General.
Well, that offensive line is getting some great push, and they're really hitting that second level hard and taking everybody downfield. All you got to do is just get in behind those big guys on the offensive line. Big number 74, Sean Santillan, 6 foot, 255 pound. He's having an outstanding game on the offensive line tonight.
1st and 10 Liberty. Slayton again stalls. Oh goodness, this time major contact in the backfield. A big hit out there by who else? Andrew Fanucchi.
Andrew Fanucchi's the heart and soul of this defense. And this is a guy that won't quit. He'll play hard for 4 quarters.
Look at the side of that helmet.
Tackle.
See the side of that helmet? 3 different shades of orange, yellow, and gold. He's been hitting so hard. Wow, what a hit by Fanucchi. Head coach David Fanucchi, Jr. of Garces, his assistant Stephen Baker, Corey Boyer, B.B. Carrasco, Andy Coyle, and D.T. Hronis.
B.B. Carrasco, one of my favorite guys. Got a chance to coach with him at Highland back in the late 90s.
The pitch out to Neal. Neal cuts up, makes a beautiful move. What a move. Flag on the play. Maybe a first down, we'll have to see. What a nice piece of running there by Neal.
This is in that area of holding, but let's wait and see what Grandpa Nick says. Absolutely.
Wow. Head coach for Liberty is Tony Mills. He's got Corey Actis, Rick Brogdon, Jay Eliadis, Wes Pollard, Bobby Roca, Jeff Sorrell, Dale Tedrow, Rick Van Horn, and Dennis Weaver for his coaching staff. What a staff.
Great job by our camera crew here to pick up this holding call. I think they're going to get Big Santillan on this right here. Right there. Great job, guys.
Well, sure.
And that's right at the point of contact there, so that's a call that's got to be made. There's probably holding on just about every play, but that's a play that definitely affects the play.
2nd and 17. Slayton has one back behind him. We all know who it is. Goes for a hard count again. Nobody goes. Slayton, quick 2-drop. Throws it. Look out. Ooh, boy. Woo. Brian, those DBs for Garces pounced. They're ready and waiting. On a 3rd and 17 now. Oh. Ooh.
You know,
that
Kevin,
stops the clock for the Rams, and anytime you can stop the clock for them, it gives them a chance to hang around.
Go ahead, Brian.
Well, that's exactly it, Kevin. I think you got it. If they can get out of this situation right here and force a punt, they're still in this game. They have time on the clock.
They're going to go to the ground. Neal trying to get outside. Who's going to make the tackle, if anybody? Look out. Oh, what a huge, huge first down for Liberty.
Well, and that's just a big-time play here. When you got 3rd and long and you got a guy like Chris Neal that you can go to, great job by Angelo Ornelas there on the kick-out block, but here's a guy who knows down and distance, knows how far he has to go for the first down. Big-time run by their senior leader, Chris Neal.
Wow, right on time. As Brian had mentioned right before the play, if Garces can hold him on a 17-yard 3rd down, and they didn't. Everybody strong on the right side. Slayton out to Neal. It's Neal. No, it's Shannon.
Well, Shannon got a little swing pass out in the flats there, and Sean McNally does a great job from his linebacker position to come flowing.
Special Kern County hello to the Perez family. Number 63, Joel Perez, a junior. Had a chance to talk to his father earlier. JP, how you doing, buddy? Cousin, bloodline, called into the show yesterday to win some tickets to the BC game tomorrow. Look at this. Pitch ball! Oh, boy.
Galink got a lucky bounce there as that ball hit the turf and just bounced right back into his arms. Take a look at this on the BC instant replay. About 10 seconds left in the quarter as you see Tyler Galink here, fortunate enough to pick up the ball as we go into the 4th quarter. The Patriots are up 21-0. We're going to step away for a quick break. We'll be back in a moment.
Bright House Networks is Kern County's local sports leader. Only on Bright House Networks Bakersfield, you'll see Bakersfield Condors ECHL Professional Hockey, Bakersfield Jam NBA D-League Basketball, Cal State Bakersfield NC2A Division I Basketball. 3 chances to watch it live on Channel 21 as it happens. Replay the next night or anytime on Bakersfield On Demand. Digital Channel 300.
Bright House Networks and the Boys and Girls Club of Kern County offered summer computer classes at the Armstrong Youth Center. Teens learned about safe searches, and young children learned about safe online games offered through Roadrunner. Bright House Networks and the Boys and Girls Club help these young people have a safe and fun summer while gaining useful computer skills. Bright House Networks is committed to Kern County and to being of service that betters our community.
Welcome back, everybody. 4th quarter out here at Liberty. 21-0. It's been a very good football game. Garces has had opportunities. And if you're a Garces fan, you're watching this, it's probably frustrating to you because they've been in position to make some moves offensively. But now Liberty looking to start marching down towards the end zone and close this thing up. Up 3 touchdowns, 3rd and 4. Huge play for Garces defense. They go to Shannon. Shannon busts through for a first down. What a nice piece of running and great play call there. Keep it simple.
Yeah, Nick does a great job getting off the ball here. Knows that he needs 4 yards to pick up the first down, and he got every bit of that as Chris Neal comes back into the ball game. Nice little 1-2 punch there, Chris Neal and Nick Shannon.
As far as Bright House Networks production, Condors on the road right now, so they have a little bit of a break. Handoff. Nice 5-6 yard run for Chris Neal. But Cal State University Bakersfield men tonight up in Wyoming, and then they'll be at the Air Force Academy in Colorado Springs on Sunday. The first home game will be next Friday, but we'll be covering high school football playoff week 1, and the following Tuesday, I believe it is, the 25th, November 25th, the Tuesday before Thanksgiving, Cal State men's basketball will be at home. Bo Redstone and myself will be calling that. And then December 3rd, everybody, the Bakersfield Jam will start against the LA Defenders. Stinson's packed the stands tonight. I think I see Ben Stinson out there tonight. So Bright House production crew gets a little bit of time off until next Friday, and then we get into some heavy production with Condors, Cal State, Bakersfield Jam.
Woo! So the Patriots now in their smash mouth offense, the I formation with Angelo Ornelas at the fullback position, and Chris Neal was a play action pass by Slayton, got a man open in the flats. Nice job by Angelo Ornelas as he breaks a tackle. Wow. Looks like an old renegade play there as he's taken down by Jalen Sykes. Well, but I think Sykes did not win this battle. Young man.
Woo, what a hit. Finally, a closing tackle in there by Tal Pruitt, but what a collision at about the 25-yard line.
Sykes, give him credit. He stayed, got right back up, but that's something he's probably going to fill tomorrow as Patriots come out in trips formation. Toss sweep to Neal. Cuts back inside. Nice nifty running by Chris Neal as he gets down close to another Patriot first down.
Just underway here in the fourth quarter. Liberty up 21-0 against Garces. And it's a 3-touchdown lead, but it's been a very good football game. Garces, as Brian said, they kind of hang their hat on their defense, but there's only so much you can take, especially with Neal, Shannon, Slayton, Eskew, Patterson, another great contributor. 1st and 10. Neal still on his feet, gets brought down.
Great job by the Garces defense that time. Kind of take away the line of scrimmage there. Take a look at this on the BC Instant Replay, guys. Do we have that? Here we go here. Take a look at the defensive line of the Rams. Great job, guys. Mixing it up inside. Grant Campbell in on the tackle for the Rams.
2nd and 6, 9.5 left in the football game. Starting to get a bit chilly out there. And it might be a little bit too long to get the play called and have it executed. Again, the officiating crew tonight, Nick Ellis, referee, saying hi to his grandkids a couple times tonight. Umpire Bob Williams, head linesman Sean Carlson, line judge Ken Lopez, back judge John Bermejo, and the box, Ernie Molina. Too much time on Liberty. Brian Adams, we've got a special radio commentator tonight as UCLA takes on Washington tomorrow. 2nd and 11. Slayton to his right. Slayton looks. Touchdown, Liberty. Eskew.
Let's take the ball.
So it's only fitting that Trent Eskew gets this catch tonight because he's been
flag on the field.
Workhorse for them. But yeah, as you mentioned, Brian, this one is gonna come back. Tough break.
And he's having, even without that touchdown, he's having a great game tonight.
Absolutely, on both sides of the football.
Holding against the Patriots, so that'll come back. No score and yardage. Yikes. 8:47 left in the game.
Brian, I don't know if you heard, Vance was talking about the KERN 1410 broadcasters up here on the radio. You got 2 former Division I football game players calling the game on radio tonight. Peyton Williams, a former defensive back at Fresno State, played in the league a little bit with the Indianapolis Colts. And also Rashawn Sheehy, a former University of Washington All Pac-10 running back, as his team take on your Bruins tomorrow. Brian, what are your thoughts on that game?
Rashawn know they ain't got nothing coming on that. It's the two bads, but we're just better on that in that game.
Battle of the two bads, as you see Tyler Gelink there take the ball and take it down close to a touchdown.
So they march it back after the touchdown gets called back, and Gelink gets it right up to the 2-yard line. So Liberty starting to click.
I love to watch Tyler Gelink run the ball, as he runs as well as anybody in the open field. Great vision as you see him just kind of picking his spots. Track speed guy.
Won't get in, I don't think. Nice job by Garces defense to keep him from getting in. And that'll bring up a 4th and goal from about the 2 or 3. Stopped a touchdown right here.
They give it to big Angelo Ornelas.
Haven't called his name a lot tonight.
Not a whole lot, but he's done a good job on defense and blocking for Chris Neal tonight.
So they'll go for 6 here with 7:40 left. 4th and goal from about the 1, 2 maybe.
If you're Garces, you got to be keying in on number 23 here. He's already scored 2 touchdowns on the night.
I'd toss it to Patterson in the corner for an easy 6.
Well, toss sweep to Chris Neal.
And he gets in, touchdown.
And Chris Neal, a great short yardage runner. As you see Chris Taylor and company try to come up and stop this thing, but watch him lower the shoulder there and fall forward for the score. Touchdown number 3.
Wow.
For the senior.
Hey guys, I'm gonna tell you, we've been coming to games, and you talk about kids and spirit, but I'm gonna give my man Kemp down there. He is gonna get my spirit award, fellas.
You know what, Brian?
For Liberty, because whenever they score, no matter where he's at, he'll sprint down, pick up the flag, and he charges around that Liberty flag. So Kemp is gonna get my spirit award when we do our awards at the end of the year. He's already gonna be the spirit guy.
Brian, it's so funny you said that, because in absolutely the truth here, Kern County. I wasn't on the intercom with Brian or anything. We must have read each other's minds, because number 9, Paul Kemp, grabs that flag against the wind and pushes it. He pushes that heavy, big flag up and down the field and the track. Brian, thank you for pointing that out.
Paul Kemp is one of those seniors. It's senior night for the Patriots. 43 seniors, and Kemp is one of those guys, as Brian mentioned, that has as much spirit as anybody on the Patriots sideline.
There's a great shot
Kevin,
of him.
That's what it's all about. I think a lot of times parents and kids get caught up into the flair and the flamboyancy of the high school football and the excitement of playing major college football. But people have to realize, we talked about it before you sent the email, 1% of these kids are going to go on to play in college. 1%. That's what this game is about. It's about enjoying your teammates, making friendships, learning some discipline, things that you can take into your workday life, learning how to work, accept failure, move past failure, and having spirit and being part of something bigger than you. And I think that we miss out on this point so much because we have ESPN, all the great sports networks, and us broadcasting, but we miss out on what this is really about. It's about experience in life and being part of something. And I think we have to get back to that, because I sit and I hear parents talk about different things. Very few of these kids, and it's not a knock on these kids or the coaches, very few of these kids are going to go on to play past this level. So they need to really enjoy the experience of being in high school, being a good student, and working well and getting involved on school campuses, getting involved in activities. Kevin, I know you did that for Liberty for years, but we have to get back to that and understand that what this is really about. It's a game to have fun and experience, and especially, Kevin, at the JV and freshman levels, when these kids are getting in blowouts, you're having kids not getting in games, that's how kids start hating the sport and not loving it. So we have to get back to what the sport is all about and what sports are all about, and using it to give everybody a positive experience.
Well, Brian, I agree with you 100%. I couldn't have said it any better myself. It's all about establishing what your priorities are at the beginning of the season, and it's all about your family, your faith, and your academics. And you're absolutely right. When you see Kemp, he kind of reminds you what it's all about. It's having a role on this football team and being just as just as responsible for this game as the guys who are scoring the touchdown.
You know, and I was very fortunate, Kevin, that I played for a guy in high school who really pushed that. Now it's Pat Preston and Coach Harnett. You know, one thing that I can tell people is there were many games that he could have left us in the game and we could have put up 20, 30 more points and pad our stats, but he always allowed us to let the other guys play, and we had to cheer for the other players.
Well, those Brian, are two great guys to play for.
Brian and Kevin, appreciate both of your statements. As we have a timeout by Coach David Fanucchi from Garces. The score's 28-0, 7:21 left. Here's the touchdown from Liberty that puts them up by 4 TDs. Young Neal, who, by the way, the pads are off, Chris Neal. I think he's done for the night. Start getting him prepped for playoffs. There's a nice look at Chris right there. And, you know, going back to what you guys were talking about, I graduated from Arvin 1983. And from my freshman year of 79 all the way up to 83, what I remember from my time in high school sports, which was, you know, freshman football, then, of course, basketball, tennis, cross country, golf, all the things that I played in, the funnest, most exciting, vibrant time of my youth, whether we were winning, whether we were losing. I remember going on golf trips to Kern River with Gary Saddam, the basketball coach. He would give us a sleeve of golf balls for every, like, you know, golf tournament against Foothill. I mean, that was like the greatest thing to be involved in something like that. And yeah, you want to win. You want to win championships. You want to, you know, be great and reach the top level at anything that you do. But the experience, the big E word, the experience of what goes on here, so important. And I can tell you this, Kern County, when we go to these high schools, every single high school embodies this as far as the faculty, the staff, the athletic directors, the principals, the coaches. One of the things I love about doing these games, you two are the football guys, but I just love the experience of coming out to these campuses. Here we go, Garces on a 1st and 10, don't get far. And I will take this time before we get into the pressure-packed playoff performances. There's 5 P's for you, or 4 P's for you. What a thrill it is for myself to work alongside Kevin Keys and Brian Adams.
Well, Vance, you say that a lot. We really appreciate it, but the bottom line is getting the chance to work with a guy that is a professional like yourself has been a wonderful experience for us. And I tell you what, I wouldn't trade it for the world. So I look forward to seeing you every Friday and talking to you during the week. And it's just been a great experience.
Well, Kevin, with that cue, it's time for the YMCA. All right, everybody up in your living rooms. Let's go. YMCA. If you're watching this at 1 o'clock in the morning on the replay, everybody up. YMCA. 3rd and 8. Wright has a man open. Sykes cuts upfield. Oh, boy, he almost broke a big one. 1st down, Garces. Nice play.
Good looking 3rd down play here as Wright does a great job settling in the pocket. Nice route by Jalen Sykes. He's been the workhorse for the Rams tonight. Just a sophomore. This guy's got some talent. Expect great things from him down the road as he picks up a 1st down for the Rams.
We're under 6 minutes. 28 points scored in this football game. Ball goes up high, and it is, someone was wide open. Somebody blew their coverage, and that would have been 6. It's going to be hard to catch that gentleman, even in traffic, let alone with no one around him.
Ball just overthrown. Rice shows the strength of his arm there, but that's a ball that we talk about all year long with Brian, is you got to put a little bit of air under it and let your athletes run that thing down.
And Kevin, on that too, I watched a lot of quarterbacks. They don't know the difference between throwing a streak route and a fade route. And we'll talk about it later as we go through the playoffs too.
Right on a 2nd and 10, looks. Someone, they're looking for the hole. They don't get it. No flag comes out. Patriots coaching staff, especially big Corey Actis.
Well, I think they got away with one here. blocking back just kind of reached out and grabbed the defensive end. As you see, Austin Davis now does a good job of.
You see that move? You see that move? Roll that back, Bernie. Roll that back.
A little bit of shake and bake.
Woo! Watch this, Kern County. Watch this. Up, 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 up. That's nice. Nice.
Well,
and this time, there was some confusion or communication or lack thereof on that one, doggone it. So, obviously, a couple of requests coming in already from myself and Kevin. Watch the shake and bake.
Wow. Nice little dance move, Jalen. I think you ought to be thinking about Dancing with the Stars coming up here.
Well, from Dancing with the Stars to Seeing Stars, he got piled on by 4 Patriots. We'll dip below 5 minutes with this play. 2nd and 10. And no, we won't.
Great job by our camera crew. Bernie Johnson and his guys provide us with a little bit of excitement in the game that's got away from us. 28-0.
Second and 15. Garces trying to get on the board. Right with a high snap, takes it, looks out to the right side, has a man, and it's caught out there after about a 40-yard pass across the field, a gain of 4 yards. Brian?
Yes.
It's revenge week in college football. You talked about your Bruins and the Huskies. What about USC at Stanford? Remember that big loss last year? How about Notre Dame versus Navy, another big revenge game? Great weekend for college football. You think Stanford will be able to get past USC 2 years in a row?
No, I do not. And again, if the Bruins can beat you, you ain't got much chance this year.
Pass over the middle, and it is, almost caught. And Kyle Knutson took a big hit at the end. That ball hung up there for what seemed like an eternity if you're Knutson. He wants this thing to come down.
Yeah, that's when you have to go up and jump and try to cradle the ball in. You don't want to expose yourself by reaching out. That's the one time you don't want to reach out. You want to jump up and cradle on the ball so you make yourself, so you don't take that hit to the head. You take it more to the body.
Well, and Dylan Meadows, I was going to basically lay off him, but then Knutson bobbled it and looked like he might be able to bring it in one more time. So Meadows said, well, I better lay the wood here. Ryan! Timeout on the field. We'd like to thank all of the voters this season that have cast their votes every single week. And we'll take one more look at this replay, Kevin. You know, Knutson bobbles it. It looked like Meadows was just going to lay off. But here, it looks like he says, well, there's number 4 is Meadows. He goes, he might catch us. I better lay one on him.
Well, Meadows is a guy that loves to take the opportunity to get hit anytime he can, and it was nothing malicious on that.
Right.
He had to do what he had to do, you know. He's got to break up the pass.
Voters, thank you. I'll tell you what, say what you want to say, but Liberty High School votes for their high school football team to get on Friday Night Football, and they did a fine job of it this year.
And they do a fine job with the cha-cha slide as well.
Are you going to do it? I know you're on this. Wow. Earlier tonight, before the game.
Oh, what a great pregame we had.
Kevin Keys and I singing Volare, amongst other tunes. Left my heart in San Francisco.
Well, to see you and my lovely mother-in-law, Rosemary Ryan, who plays one of the greatest pianos around. And Vance, you play pretty good yourself.
Thank you, sir.
I was very impressed with not only your vocal skills, but the way you play the piano. How long you been playing?
About a day or two. Right. Oh, doggone it, not handle. A flag on the play, and a very interesting part of the field for the flag to come down at the end of the pass play. We'll see what the call is going to be. And it's going to be against Garces, and it's going to be declined.
They had an illegal lineman downfield. That's going to be turned over on downs. I think we catch it here on the instant replay.
Riley Scott, the intended receiver, a moot point with a penalty on Garces, and now it'll be Liberty ball dab smack right in the middle of the football field on the 50-yard line. 4:04 left. Next week, the voting won't matter. There is no voting. All votes are off. High school football playoff week 1 next Friday.
A lot of new players on the field for the Patriots. One of those new players just gets the ball.
Andrew Sanders, first play of the game for him. He takes the handoff, cuts upfield, and gets about 5 yards. So a nice play by Sanders. And
great block by Sesmat out there to spring him loose.
A lot of both coaches getting some players out on the football field now.
Paul Gaglione, another guy out there.
Last night, Kevin Keys had an opportunity, as he said, to talk to some of his former football player alums. I know Donnie James was there.
Donnie James flew in from Cal Berkeley, an outstanding former Cal Berkeley linebacker.
Handoff to Shannon. Shannon cuts upfield. Flag on the play. Flag on the play.
So that's in the area of holding, and that is going to be the call. But you take a look at Nick Shannon as he busts through the line there, and it's how fitting it is for Nick Shannon's cousin, Rashawn Shee, who's calling this game on 14-10, to watch his young cousin with a long run.
He just gave me a grin from ear to ear.
Being called back. Nick Shannon wearing number 22. That's the number that Rashawn Sheehy wore when he played for the Kansas City Chiefs. Funny story watching Rashawn play at the Chiefs. His big breakout game was against the San Diego Chargers in San Diego. I was fortunate enough to get a field pass and got a chance to watch Junior Seau just work my little cousin up and down the field. Saw Rashawn after the game. I said, "What are all those scratches on your face?" He goes, "That's Seau. Seau. He scratched me all night long."
Really?
You'd be amazed at what those guys do in those piles, man.
I said, "Well, did you say something to him?" He said, "No, I didn't say anything to him. I didn't want him to hit me harder."
Yeah, there's more games in the season. 3rd and 14 for Liberty.
Well, guys, we get into that time. Barber Honda.
Every week on Friday night, the Barber Honda Company in Bakersfield sponsors the Barber Honda Player of the Game Award, and we have had some stellar performances this season, and as we get into the playoffs next week, we'll start to do our annual recaps. And don't forget, we have the PAC Awards, Paul Madam Key Awards, Paul Madam Keys Awards going out. Nice block, it frees them up, and oh, what a big hit. And on a 3rd and 14, it's going to remain a 4th and long.
Marty Offenstronger.
Offenstronger.
How did I say it? Is that good? Great block in there by Zach Vasquez.
I will throw my hat into the ring for the first of the Barber Honda discussions. But tonight I'm going to overstate the obvious and talk about young Chris Neal and what a fine job he's done tonight. Some good, strong, long runs, some big first downs picked up right when they needed it. Sniffed the end zone and got in when he was asked to do it. So my vote, of course, tonight will go for number 23, 5'10", 185-pound senior Chris Neal.
Well, that's a good cast of votes, and he's certainly deserving of the award tonight. But another guy who should be considered is Trent Eskew. You know, he played well on both sides of the ball, had some big plays for Liberty. He probably had about 3 or 4 sacks tonight, a couple big catches, a touchdown that was called back. But that's a tough call. I like Chris Neal for the simple fact that he's coming back. And when he got into the ball game, he gave this team a huge lift. Got the tough yards running the ball inside, 3 touchdowns on the night. I'm going to have to cast my vote as well for that guy coming back.
Brian Adams.
Well, guys, I'm going to have to go. Chris Neal had a great game, tough runs, but I think SU had a great game on both sides of the ball. He caught a crucial 3rd down and 15 to keep the chains moving to set up the second touchdown for Chris Neal. And barring a penalty, he would have touchdowns as well, the 2 sacks. I'm going to go with Trent Eskew as my pick.
Tonight's final pick, the pressure rarely put on our director Bernie Johnson in the truck, but 2 choices up in the booth for Neal, 1 for Eskew. Our director Bernie Johnson will have to make somewhat of a decisive call. I love it, Kern County, because he is the director and because he's seen as many games as all of us and called them. And if you only knew how helpful and beneficial it is to have Bernie Johnson in the truck walking us through this every week. Says tonight it's Chris Neal, but I'm bringing a shirt out to Trent Eskew next week as well.
So are we saying that we have a co-award?
Look out, taking it about the 12-yard line. Sykes still on his feet, a nice job of running. So the official winner of tonight's Barber Honda Player of the Game will be Chris Neal, with an honorable mention by our director Bernie Johnson for a shirt to be delivered to Mr. Eskew. Brian, appreciate your thoughts. Very salient points that you make. Tonight, our closest call ever, Chris Neal, Barber Honda Player of the Game.
Well, watch this little move here by Sykes here. Sideways, hits Skinny, misses a few tackles there, and picks up about 6 or 7 yards. That's a nifty return by Jalen Sykes.
22-yard line. They're going to have to go a long, long ways, 78 yards to get off the schneid in a buck and a half. The clock will continue to run, so Coach Fanucci not able to get that ball out of bounds.
That's my boy Zach right there, young Zach Puente.
Bernie Johnson, our director. Zach Flores in the truck with him. Super Sammy Bowman in the truck with him. Demetrius on the ground with Carlos. Who's on the van tonight? Dale back on the van. And our 2 erstwhile faithful, loyal cameramen, Steve Menchaca on the left lift, Kevin Willie on the right lift. Steve.
Nice little run by Colton Bryan there, the 5'7", 135-pound senior, getting his carries on tonight. Nice job, Colton.
Steve, who do you like tomorrow night in the big fight? The big, who do you like in the big fight tomorrow night? Coutier? 40-yard line, the biggest pay-per-view mixed martial arts fight in the history of the sport tomorrow night. I know Steve might have a bit to weigh in on that. Great. That's going to do it, everybody. Last play of the football game. Liberty shuts out Garces, and they'll march into the playoffs with a ton of momentum. The handoff on the right side. A nice bit of running there. And it was handled out there by Zach Puente. And that is going to do it. Well, they got to call him off the field, but now they do. It's over. Liberty, 28-0. The Barber Honda Player of the Game will be Chris Neal, and he'll be met with Kevin Keys down on the field. For everybody at Bright House Networks Productions, thank you. See you next Friday. Playoff football coming up next.
Got a job to do? Premier Equipment Rentals is your answer. Residential or industrial, we've got exactly what you need to get the job done. Whether it's a drill, trencher, bobcat, backhoe, or excavator, you can always count on Premier Equipment Rentals. And with our new extended hours, we're available when you need us. Check us out at 3217 Patton Way and 5001 Stein Road, or give us a call to find out more. Don't forget to ask about our weekend specials. Make your next project a breeze with Premier Equipment Rental.
Get rid of your old gas guzzler and buy used at the Barber Honda's Used Car Super Center. With over 200 cars, you'll get Superstar treatment and state-of-the-art service at the new Barber Honda Service Center. It's the absolute best in Kern County. Find a pre-owned, fuel-efficient car that's just right for you. And Barber Honda has the largest selection of certified pre-owned Hondas. Don't wait until gas is over $6 a gallon. Start saving gas and money now at the Barber Honda Used Car Super Center, 4625 Weibel Road at the entrance to the Bakersfield Auto Mall.
The Barber Honda Player of the Game.
And welcome to the Barber Honda postgame show. Big game tonight here at Liberty High School. It was for the SEYL championship. Liberty High School Patriots over the Rams 28-0. And one of the main reasons is their senior leader, Chris Neal. Chris, great game tonight.
Thank you, sir. Our offensive line did a heck of a job, blocked amazingly great. And a lot of people stepped up today. Our returning offensive lineman, Austin Rifle, went down. And, on the TV here, it shows our sophomores that we pulled up, Blacksill and Sizemore, making big holes tonight. And, I mean, the offensive line as a unit, they played amazing. And I can't say anything more.
Chris, you had a big game tonight, 167 yards rushing quietly and 3 touchdowns on the night. As you mentioned, outstanding play from your linemen. And here to do the honors as we take another look at the BC Instant Replay here, Chris Neal, his second touchdown on the night. Nothing fancy here, but smelling that end zone as he gets in. Chris, your thoughts on that play?
Well, it was stuffed up on the right, and the defense flowed really hard. So when I cut back to the left, it was wide open up the middle, and I just wanted to get into the end zone. Again, our offensive line did a great job moving the pile, and Angelo Ornelas led me. And, I mean, that just seems to be a key to success around here at Liberty High School.
You were not expected to play tonight. I saw Coach Mills earlier before the games started. He kind of had this grin on his face. He said, we may have an ace in the hole tonight. I think you might see number 23 on the field. How does it feel to come back in such a big game to win a championship?
It feels great. I mean, our coaches did a great job game planning. I mean, the SEYL championship, we haven't had it since 2004, and it feels great to have a share of it this year. And tomorrow the committees will be looking at the score tonight to see what our playoff seeding will be. And I mean, we've done a great job since the start of the season. We got the wheels going whenever we played Stockdale High on their field, and we haven't looked back ever since.
Well, let's talk about that, Chris. You guys have had a tough schedule all year. You opened up with Clovis West. You guys battled them to the end, to the fourth quarter, came down to the very end of the game, and then also against the Drillers, who you share the championship with. 2 Division I powerhouses that you guys played extremely well. How do you make a case to get seated up high with those teams?
Well, I mean, they are both great teams. Clovis West, we had them till the fourth quarter on our field. BHS, we had them till the fourth quarter on their field. I mean, ultimately, it's in the committee's hands, but I mean, we tried to do our best tonight. 28-0 against Garces. We got a share of the league title after. When we lost to BHS, no one thought it was possible. Everybody wrote us off. We just wanted to come back and keep fighting, and we came together closer as a team. And that's what's helped us to our success today.
So there it is, Kern County, an outstanding student athlete and our Barbara Honda player of the game. And to do the honors for Barbara Honda is Sam Croft. Sam?
Well, congratulations on being co-champions. You took it to them early and took it often, and I guess that's what it takes. I hope you do well from here. And on behalf of Bright House Networks, Barbara Honda would like to congratulate you on being the player of the game.
I appreciate it.
And great performance.
So there it is, folks, for Bernie Johnson and our camera crew, Vance Palm, Brian Adams, I'm Kevin Keys. Good night, everybody.
With cooking, cleaning, planning, and homework to do, when it's time for TV shows, you might not make it in time to watch. So let them wait for you. You've got Start Over, powered by Bright House Networks, letting you restart certain live TV shows right from the very beginning, all with just a few clicks of the select button on your remote. It's free and included with your digital cable. So when it comes to time, you've got plenty of it. Start Over, powered by Bright House Networks, making life easier.
Send us your videos and be a star. Introducing You on Demand, exclusively on Bright House Networks. Send us a video of your family, friends, or pets, funny videos, short films you've made, or musical performances, and you could see yourself on demand. Go to bakersfield.mybrighthouse.com for more information and click on the You on Demand logo for details. So send us your videos and be a star. You on Demand on Bakersfield On Demand Digital Channel 300.
ESPN College Game Day.
You ready? I'm ready.
The #1 college football show.
Expect the unexpected.
I know you've done your homework on this. Absolutely.
Every Saturday.
It's always a fun place to be.
Look at these beautiful
I love
people.
them. This is heaven.
Live from the nation's college football hotspots.
These are the best college football fans in the nation.
The guys, the predictions, and the headgear.
Go Buckeyes!
ESPN College Game Day, built by the Home Depot. Saturdays at 10 a.m. on ESPN and ESPN HD. Then log on at collegegameday.com.
This has been an exclusive presentation of Bright House Networks.